Your Excellency, thank you so much for joining me
Thank
on
you,
the
Hardly.
record. First, I've got to ask you, is this a good deal for the GCC?
Is what a good deal?
The interim agreement, I suppose we could say, between Iran and the United States.
Well, this is, as you said, this is interim. It's not the end game of the whole story. What's a good deal for the GCC is a region that is stable, secure. What is a good deal is a neighbor that refrain from using the force and attack attackers. What is a good deal is Hormuz would be open as it was before the war. What is a good deal is when we need to, all of us, think, including Iran, about our future, about a dialogue, a serious dialogue where we ensure that there is peace and stability for our children. We are neighbors, we are with each other. That's a good deal.
Tell me, what are you hearing from the United States? Because at this point, at least, the GCC technically isn't part of that conversation with Iran.
It is part of this conversation. Mr. Rubio was with us in a joint ministerial meeting in Manama on the 25th of June. And we heard assurances that step by step, he is going to inform the GCC of all the dialogue that is going on. State of Qatar is in the discussion, so we have access. There is continuous dialogue between Mr. Rubio and all the foreign ministers of the GCC. You know, you see it in the media. He's traveling to the region. He was in United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, and Kuwait. And he is in a phone call almost on a daily or every other day with a minister here and there. So no, we are involved. We know what's going on, and we are there. And our concerns and our interest is being protected by us and by others.
So missiles, drones, proxies. How will a deal with Iran address those concerns?
Proxies are the most important issue here. Iran continuous interference in Iraq, Yemen, and others in Lebanon has to be stopped. These are the most damage we received in the GCC countries, or most of the GCC countries, came from the militias in Iraq. So basically what we care about firstly is the militias refraining from get out of these countries, let this country be itself. The ballistic missiles and the drone, we've been talking about this since 2015, since the GCPOA, and it's not something new, and nobody really cared about it then. I hope this time it is...
that your concerns will be heard.
Yes, I hope so.
Hundreds of billions of dollars in damage to GCC countries as a result of the Iran war. Yes. What has this achieved?
What has this achieved to Iran? That's the question should be asked to Iran, not to us. Before the war, we've been informing Iran and the international community, we have nothing to do with this war. We don't want a war.
So you don't see that this was a war that was a mistake?
A mistake by the United States? I mean, every war is a mistake, whether this war or any other war. We go after dialogue and diplomacy. It's obvious what we want. We want peace and stability. We want a continuous dialogue. We want a future discussion, regional discussion that involves everybody.
So you don't feel that the United States has left the GCC holding the bag for this?
No.
Hundreds of billions of dollars in damage. And you guys, you're on the sidelines of these discussions, but you are not directly,
maybe it's
dictating terms, I guess.
Maybe
is what I mean.
It's better to be on the sideline, not to be involved. But we are involved, Hardly. We are there. We know what's going on. Our concern is conveyed. The state of Qatar is there. So yes, we are definitely there.
You mentioned the militias and the militias in Iraq. I just sat down with the new prime minister of Iraq, and I asked him specifically about the disarming of militias. He says he's working on it. He said September 30th is the date for these armed groups to lay down their weapons, because if they were created in the spirit of resistance, there's nothing left to resist. In your mind, how big is the threat from Iranian militias in Iraq today? Well,
listen, we started a dialogue with Iraq 3 years ago, strategic dialogue, and we signed a memorandum of understanding, the GCC and the government of Iraq I traveled to them in 2023 with a message from all 6 countries that we want to work, we want to cooperate, we want to do projects, investment, you name it, the whole big deal. Yeah. But having these militias and having these attacks coming from Iraq has to be addressed. And we've talked with them. They said they don't know. They said, no, it's not in our land. There are so many reasons, but I'm happy to see that he took that decision. I hope it is implemented. I hope they can control them, because this will not create a stable Iraq. Not even for the neighboring countries, but also for Iraq themselves. They won't be able to govern if these are still in control and they have this weapons. Armies has to be in the government, as it should be also in Lebanon.
When I sat with him, he said that so far at least, there's been no evidence that the most recent attacks on Saudi Arabia came from Iraq.
That's not accurate. There are evidence.
That does not align with what you know.
No, yes. They know, and we've provided them with coordinates, pictures, and so on. No, it is from Iraq, unfortunately.
So you're going to bring that up when you go to see him?
Yes, I will definitely talk about it. I will talk about other issues. I will talk about our future. But this is one of the things that we will discuss definitely. We have a huge project with Iraq. We are all in the GCC, all connected through electricity. Now we are about to finish the connectivity with Iraq through Kuwait, from Wafra, Kuwait to southern Iraq to Basra. So the GCC will be providing...
Literally connected.
Yes, literally through electricity, of course.
Yeah. Tell me this, when you look at what's happening in the region today, there's going to need to be a lot of rebuilding, if you will, at least on the infrastructure side as a result of this conflict. But there also needs to be some kind of rebuilding between brothers in the GCC. How difficult is that going to be?
Rebuilding what?
Relationships between GCC countries.
Well, like any other organization, you have a view and you have a different view. What we have seen during the attacks on all GCC makes me extremely proud to be a Gulfi. How we cooperated, how we came to help each other, how we stood by each other, how we opened the ports, exchange information, exchange goods, For Kuwait, Qatar, and Bahrain, there was no access to any sea. So what Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, and Sultanate of Oman did to deregulate, to move all the trucks, business as usual, as if we did not get affected, all because of this brotherly relationship. Now, what we concentrate on is how to continue our economic integration and how do we build on it.
But can you do that when the GCC is fractured?
It's not fractured. That's not what you think. It's not fractured. I tell you a story. In 28th of April, this year, we held an extraordinary summit in Jeddah. And in that summit, we took a decision to concentrate on few issues to help our future and to be more resilient than what we are. Everybody agreed on it. We're working on it. It should be finished. I'm the one responsible to come back to them with the answers and the studies. And it will finish, I hope, in the end of September, the third part of this year. We are working hard. We are extremely resilient. The war showed the whole international community how resilient our institutions, military, health, financial, zero inflation. Other regions that are far away from the war, their inflation went up. Us, thank God, is maintained the same. So this is all because of our cooperation.
Conversation being had about the Strait of Hormuz and whether or not the Omanis and the Iranians are going to work together to put some kind of fee structure in place. Is that something that you see as feasible?
It's not acceptable. Even Oman does not agree on the fees.
Yeah.
We issued a statement with Mr. Rubio
Yes.
during the meeting that has a clear, specific paragraph about not accepting any kind of fees or what do you want to call it?
So tolls, so
whatever.
So they can
Oman
forget it.
was with us
Yeah.
and accepted that, and that is my understanding of the Omani position is they don't accept it.
When we talk about proxies, obviously Yemen has been a staging ground for many of the attacks on the GCC. How do you see that playing out in terms of the leadership in Yemen, the Houthis issue, and who's leading on that?
We are in continuous dialogue with our brother in the government of Yemen. We are helping out. I just read a report actually this morning about the assistance that the GCC countries give to Yemen. Almost all of them are there in different sectors. We want to help Yemen. We want to make sure that is back on its feet. It's a very important in a very strategic location in the Arabian Peninsula. Listen, unless political dialogue, unless the Houthis accept the political dialogue, the roadmap that the UN has put down, there will be no solution for them to handle. They need to have this discussion. The Houthis need to accept that this is a legitimate government that represents the Yemeni people. If they continue in this path, there is no solution. There has to be a political process. Saudi Arabia and Oman are leading on this front, and their effort bared some fruit in the past, but unfortunately the Houthis did not commit to the commitment they made, unfortunately.
Yeah, they didn't follow through.
Unfortunately.
Tell me this, Israel's role in the region going forward. I mean, in a way, the GCC and Israel have been somewhat on the same side of this conflict. Do you anticipate that we're going to see any movement among GCC countries or GCC as a bloc towards a relationship with Israel?
Listen, we are very clear. The relationship with Israel has certain criteria. I remember clearly in September 2023, Crown Prince, Prime Minister, His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Salman came out on TV and he said, we are in a dialogue with Israel. We are getting closer to a peace deal. And we were all happy to see that there is some sort of a dialogue that would bring the yes movement, that bring the region, detention the region. But unfortunately, October 2023 happened and took us back to square one. There has to be a way to give the Palestinian people their legitimate right and their land, their decent life. They have to be recognized by the international community. We need to give them the country that they have been dreaming about for many years. And then we can talk about discussion and peace and all sort of...
Are you encouraged by the fact that the President of the United States has been very tough on Israel in recent weeks?
Well, we support his efforts, the Gaza plan, the phase one, the peace board. We have been supporting, we committed even financially in that path. We need to see a vital country called the State of Palestine. This is what we need to see in order for us to move forward with any commitment or any dialogue with anybody in the region, especially Israel.
Tell me this, when you have been speaking to Mr. Rubio about what happens next, lots of questions about downgrading Iran's nuclear capability. In your mind, is that something that this next deal can achieve?
Well, our understanding from the memorandum of understanding is Iran have accepted not to have a nuclear weapon.
But they've cheated before.
Well, you can ask them that question, but we need to see the international community monitoring their facilities. The IAEA has to play a role in securing the monitoring system in order to make sure that they are in the right path. Also, the amount of uranium has to be dealt with. Where do you locate it? Where do you store it? Sorry, this is also something we need to be aware.
You need clarity.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. But they have accepted not to have a nuclear weapon.
Do you believe them?
I want to believe them, yes. I want to believe them.
Yeah.
I would like to believe them, yes.
Yeah. Tell me this. The GCC obviously has, as you say, been extraordinarily nimble in trying to sort of, whether it becomes a question about the oil resources or infrastructure or logistics, food, et cetera, they've been incredibly nimble in finding other ways around the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. That really, in a sense, has been playing into something you've been working on for a very long time, which is really developing those relationships in terms of trade with these countries. What would you like to see going forward?
This is exactly what we are working on. I told you earlier in the interview about the summit in Jeddah in April. This is exactly my mandate,
Yes.
the directive I received from the leaders. We're working on it. We're very serious. We're meeting with the 6 countries. We have created committees. We have working groups. It's almost my breakfast, lunch, and dinner, these directive. This is what I do almost on a daily basis
What
to
are the
make sure.
sticking points there?
We are still in the process. There is cooperation and everybody wants it. For example, my own country, Kuwait, has the option of going through Fujairah, UAE, or Oman, Dugum port, or Yanbu through Saudi Arabia. So these are options. What we will do is give them a study with options. You can do this, you can do that, we can do this. We have some experience because we've been thinking about it before, but now we're thinking about it seriously.
Yes.
And we have some experience, but we need to add on. Our experience is a little bit outdated. Now new technology came. We need also to expedite our train system. This is really something that will also give us another option on, instead of airplanes, sea, and cars. We can do also the train. We can, and this is just the beginning in the GCC. Our dream is to get connected with our brothers in the region and through Jordan, Turkey, Europe, Syria. This is what we need to do.
Do you anticipate that these new routes are going to in any way replace that traffic through the Strait of Hormuz? Or at least ameliorate?
Gives us another options.
Yeah.
We anticipate that the Strait of Hormuz will reopen and become normal as before the war, but it's nice also to have other options so you can, at least have some sort of stability and assurance for yourself that I have many options and I can go left or right or up or down.
Your Excellency, 300 billion. That's the price tag, if you will, that we've heard floating around, that supposedly GCC countries are going to be spending on the rehabilitation and reconstruction of Iran. What do you know about this figure?
Well, listen, in October 2024, the GCC countries met for the first time collectively, the 6 of them, plus the Secretary General with Mr. Iraqchi in Doha. And this was the first ever.
Yes.
And in that meeting, we discussed many issues. One of the issues that we discussed with Iran, or with Mr. Iraqchi, is the possibility of economical investment, connectivity, digitalization that we have in the GCC to be transferred to Iran. We could come and invest. We can start working once there is a normal, decent relationship between both sides. And he was very welcome about it. This is not something new to our. We've discussed it
coming out of nowhere.
Yes, discussed it bilaterally with them.
Okay.
For the 300, I have not seen anything. It was not introduced to me nor to other GCC countries. We don't know anything about it.
It's not part of the conversations you had with Mr. Rubio?
Nothing. We did not discuss.
Didn't you ask him?
Why would I ask him if it's not introduced to me? I would ask him if somebody has a plan for the region. We don't know what is the 300, who's going to fund the 300, who's going to be the beneficiary of the 300. We really don't know anything about it. You cannot comment about something that you have not seen, read, or talked about.
Is it something that GCC countries would be open to doing, investing in Iran?
As I told you, we've we've done it before. We've talked to them about it before. If we have a normal relationship with Iran or any other country, then we are open to investment. We are open to talking about ways to help each other out and cooperate. We've done it with, actually we are doing it with many, many countries, whether each GCC country by itself or GCC as a whole.
But this still hasn't been discussed with you?
No, it has not been introduced to us officially or non-officially.
Yeah. Your Excellency, it's great to see you.
Thank you so
much for
Thank
speaking
you.
with me
Thank
on the
you so
record.
much. Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you.